Salutations everybody, and welcome back to the PokeHub ModCast. I'm your host Kibo, and I'm here again today with the one and only Majestic Moose.
Hey there.
How's this week treating you?
Pretty good. We just figured out in the Japanese version, you can actually change between the hiragana and katakana version in-game. Whereas all the other ones, you have to just restart the entire game. So
that was one of the biggest helping hands that we've come across in a while because we've had to run through them in the various languages. But Thankfully, we only have to do one run of Japanese because then we can test both the... What's the first? What is the hiragana?
Hiragana and then kanji.
Kanji, yes.
Did I say katakana last time? Oh, well.
I don't know. I think you corrected yourself. But anyways... Yeah, so that was a huge discovery because going through the mod, we realized something had broke while we were testing it in that language, in the hiragana.
Yeah, because there was that extra option for selecting your language where it wasn't there in other languages.
Yeah, so of course being Japanese we didn't realize that right away, like what that, even Google Translate wasn't helping us.
Yeah.
But we figured it out, and thankfully, you can change between the two. So we're hoping it's going to be the same for Chinese, simplified and traditional, because then that will save us 2 whole game run-throughs for the Japanese and Chinese.
Didn't one of the options translate to like random boat or something?
Yes, random boat. Yeah, I love because I have an app, the Google Translate app on my phone, which allows you to use your camera, and in real time, if you just point your camera at it, it'll translate it right in front of you on the screen. So one of the options in the Pokemon game was random boat, and we had no idea what that was, but we just kind of put it side by side of an English one and figured it out from there. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, me neither.
But it was really interesting, some of the things that come up trying to figure it out in a very foreign language. Because like I've mentioned, at least with the European languages,
you can at least see the English letters and everything.
Yeah, and it's kind of relative
Latin language, whatever.
It's similar to the English word, so you can kind of almost make out what it is if something's super effective or not effective.
Yeah.
The words look very kind of alike, it's very similar. But then you have your Korean and Japanese and Chinese, and of course I've never been taught anything in that sense. So
I've had a little bit of experience with Japanese because I took some classes in early high school, but other than that, no.
I mean, sometimes...
There's a lot to learn.
Oh, I can imagine. It's everything there. It's just learning symbols, right? And characters, and everything has its own
And the structure
meaning.
is all different. It's, crazy.
It's unbelievable, but it's probably one of the harder languages to learn.
Yeah. Luckily, it has a solid structure that once you learn, it usually doesn't have as many contradictions in it like English does, where there's silent E's and H's and... weird stuff.
Yeah, that's the struggle with the English language, but a lot of us speak it. So that, thankfully, was a nice helping hand for us for
sure.
Supporting languages, because then soon enough it'll be completed and we'll be able to push that, which is great. So as of recently, there has been a remake of the first Pokemon movie.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I think... I'm not too happy with it.
Why is that?
Just the animation style. I prefer the 2D animation. So when they make it all those new 3D graphics, I'm like, why? The original was good.
But what about this one compared to Detective Pikachu?
I definitely prefer the graphics of this new Mewtwo movie because they're not trying to be super realistic with it.
That's what I liked. I found that the Detective Pikachu was almost kind of creepy because they
Uncanny Valley kind of.
Yeah, very hyper realistic Pokemon shouldn't be a thing because they tried too hard. I think they looked almost fake. They tried, you know what I mean? If you think about Pikachu, he was so noticeably fuzzy. I feel like he wouldn't be that fuzzy. You know, if you saw him, he'd be more smooth.
For realistic renders of Pokemon, I think they did pretty good, but I just don't like that style.
No, I agree. Right? I agree. I'm not saying it's a bad movie. I'm not bashing it. It's great. I love Pokemon, but personally, I like the new one, which is called Pokemon Mewtwo Strikes Back Evolution. I mean, it looks pretty cool. I do like that they keep with the same, it's not like real life and CG mixed together.
Yeah.
I like that it's just animation, that it keeps the same style of animation throughout all the people and Pokemon.
Yeah, because when there's the people in it and the like realistic renders of Pokemon, then you really see like, oh, yeah, they're not really there. This is getting weird.
Yeah, I just feel more immersed when it's all animated. I feel like I'm more in the story for some reason than if it's a realistic, because it looks real, but it's fake.
Yeah.
You know?
I remember the original, or like one of the earlier Pokemon Go commercials, they had like real life, or it could have been just really polished renders. It looked like a real life like forest, but they just CG'd in Pokemon and it looked super good.
Oh,
because
yeah.
they weren't trying to be realistic renders of them. It was just like the actual Pokemon running around in a forest. And I was like, whoa, they're there. I can see them.
Exactly. It's just like when you're actually using Pokemon Go, you see the world right there in front of you, but then you have the little Squirtle popping out, like, you know, and that's cool because it's just the regular standard animation that you would expect to see of a Pokemon, you know what I mean by that? I mean, are you going to watch the new movie?
Maybe eventually. I really hope that they kept the old 4Kids dub Vikings reference.
Oh.
Because there's this one scene where Team Rocket was paddling Ash and his friends over to the island where Mewtwo was. And they're like, what did they say? I think Brock was like, whoa, they're Vikings. And it's like, they must be from Minnesota. Because the Minnesota Vikings is like a football team or something. Yeah.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah, I didn't actually realize that was a football reference until much later, but I was like, oh, that's silly.
Well, I mean, they can't expect kids or young, you know, people to understand that unless you're a big sports fan, but
Well,
I was on the same boat. I wouldn't have got that reference either until probably years later.
Yeah, because I know whenever they translate things from from Japanese over to English, they always... Some of the studios like to really Americanize everything. So instead of an onigiri, which is like a rice ball falling down a hill, you see like a photoshopped in sandwich just falling down.
I remember seeing that.
Like turning, onigiri again into jelly-filled donuts.
Yes, I remember when I was watching that, because I remember I was watching on Netflix, the Indigo League, and they changed the rice ball that he was supposed to be holding, because then I'm like, wait, that's not how it is. And then sure enough on YouTube they had a side-by-side of that one scene, and it's instead of a rice ball they put like a
sandwich
or a donut or something in it. And I was like, why? Because everyone, I mean, you'd still know it's food, but apparently not.
Apparently Americans don't know what onigiri is, so.
Apparently.
Because the Japanese version originally released in July 2019, and we're just getting the translated version now when we're recording this.
It came out as of February 27th. It is available, at least I know for sure, on the Canadian Netflix, probably also American Netflix.
Oh, it's just on Netflix?
Yeah, it's a Netflix exclusive.
Okay, I'm definitely going to check that out.
Yeah, right? So you don't have to go to the movies. That's nice. Can stay at home in the comfort of your home, play Pokemon Sword and Shield, run the shiny generator while you're watching the new Pokemon movie.
Yeah.
There you go.
There's a new event in Pokemon Sword and Shield where you can find the Bulbasaur, Ivysaur, Charmander, Squirtle, and Wartortle.
Oh, yeah?
So you can just grab one of those and then start shiny chaining.
There you go. And that would be so cool. And they also have, aren't they also, or at least for the next few weeks, they're doing Dynamax Mewtwo's, which you cannot catch, though. Which is kind of a bummer.
Strange.
They say if you do defeat him, that you will get special.
Yeah, I think they're giving out ability capsules, which are really useful, like when you're building a competitive team.
Yeah,
because what you can do is, again, even if you use the shiny egg chaining, you can breed for a perfect IV Pokemon. And then if it doesn't have the right ability, then you can use the ability capsule to change it from its primary to its secondary. Or if it has the hidden ability, but you don't want it, you can change it back to its previous two. But you can't change it to its hidden ability, sadly.
Oh, well at least that's something.
Yeah.
Or how hard is it to get ability capsules other than this?
I think in previous games you had to use battle points.
Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
I haven't actually got into the competitive Pokemon teams yet. I've just been using Pokemon Showdown, which is a like web browser based competitive Pokemon playing where you can just build your team and it just automatically sets up all of their stats with their like attack, speed, health, everything. And so you don't actually have to breed for the Pokemon and test them out in combat before you've like play tested them.
Mm-hmm.
So you can build up your team, test them out. Once they're good, go into the game and actually hatch them yourself.
Oh.
Yeah. So before you had to get battle points, which you get in like the battle tower or wherever else gives them out. I think right now it's in end game battle tower.
Potential spoiler alert.
Like after you beat Leon's. Actually, yeah, you might lose to him, so.
Yeah, that's
Maybe
true.
not spoilers.
Yeah. At least that's something. You can't catch Mewtwo, but you can get your ability capsules, which will help you for competitive.
Yeah.
And speaking of competitive, did you see that little 7-year-old who won the Oceania competitive trials or whatever it was? It was a competition, and the 7-year-old
Really?
Simone Lim, I believe, she beat out someone twice her age or something, I think they said. And she's now the champion for Oceania Pokemon.
Wow. Was that the trading card game or was it like the actual game?
The actual game,
Okay,
like
cool.
actual
That's
Sword and
awesome.
Shield Pokemon. Yeah. And she had her little stuffed Eevee with her the whole time. And she just, when she won her last move, she just was totally like oblivious almost. And everyone's like cheering, like, oh my gosh, she just won. Probably she's one of the youngest competitors they've ever had, apparently.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was just so cute seeing her just like surprised that she won at the end and still kind of like what's going on almost kind of thing.
It takes a lot of work to like figure out how all the battles work and everything because you have to really predict what your opponent's going to do based on what their team is and try and figure out what their strategy is going to be.
Yeah, you got to really know your Pokemon.
Yeah, for
sure. Really
sure.
do. And for a 7-year-old?
Even just like type matching, although I guess they tell you what's super effective now.
Yeah, maybe they take
before
those
you
out
had-
for the competitive battles.
I'm not sure.
Because they lower, everyone goes to level 50, right? Everyone levels out.
Yeah,
at that.
it scales you down, I think, yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Or up if you have a level 1.
Yeah, I went into the verses just out of curiosity, but I had just started the game, so I had all these really, really low levels, and then all of a sudden I went against someone who obviously had like Final Evolution team and everything.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm like, it bumped up all my little Pokemon to level 50, and I'm like, this isn't gonna be good. I lost, but that's okay. It was the effort that counted.
Yeah, still fun.
Exactly. I think it's cool that, esports is like for anybody.
Yeah.
Especially if a 7-year-old kid can win at a competitive championship. Come on. It's like, that's cool, especially in the world of Pokemon, which is such a big thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I think this was the juniors, but it goes up to like 20 or 18, 19, I think, the age range.
Wow.
I'm not sure. I think maybe it's 18 and under, 17 under, which would be juniors, I guess, kids,
Yeah.
Which would make sense. I'm not quite sure, though. Well, that concludes our episode for today. So thank you again for joining me here.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in.
We'll catch you next time.